The pollution from vehicles powered by fossil fuels has long harmed the health of communities around our country, communities overlooked and underserved. But there is a solution to this problem, and it is parked right behind me. Electric cars, trucks, and buses, they don't produce tailpipe emissions that irritate the nose and eyes, that decrease lung function, that increase susceptibility to respiratory illness. And so putting more electric vehicles on our roads will make communities like Miraloma healthier for our babies.
Meanwhile,
I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election. Her views are not mine, but I do consider her progressive.
And Michigan, let us be clear, contrary to what my opponent is suggesting, I will never tell you what kind of car you have to drive.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Dangerous and pathological liars.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Hey, please like and share this video. It's the only way that we can get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of the Afternoon Drive. Now, right away, some of you are going to say, Pastor Marty, come on now. What about Donald Trump? You know, the major media outlets are constantly having to fact-check Donald Trump. Yeah, why is that? And never Kamala and never Tim Walz. When they do check him, they let him get away with answers like, I'm a knucklehead and I misspeak. No, you're a pathological liar. But we'll get into that in greater detail in a moment. Has Trump ever embellished when he talks about, I am the greatest, I have done the most, nobody's done it more perfectly than me? You know, we could say that that's kind of over-the-top embellishment. But here's the difference. When Trump exaggerates a point like that, it really just affects him. And it becomes a matter of your personal judgment or not, whether or not you think that, you know, the buildings he's built are the biggest, the best, the baddest ever. Kamala Harris, when she lies, her lies directly affect you. Let me say that again. Her lies directly affect you. Let me say that again. Her lies directly affect you. Now, Tim Walz is another one of these. He likes to grandstand and make himself look bigger than he is. He was in Tiananmen Square, and no, he wasn't. In fact, when he was still stateside, he was worried he wasn't going to get to go to China because of what was happening in Tiananmen Square, and he was quoted as saying such in his hometown newspaper. So he got there 3 months after the fact, but yet he still likes to say, hey, look, my people know me, they trust me, hey, I was there. I just wasn't there on that day. That's like somebody trying to say they were in New York City on 9/11 when we were attacked, and we find out, no, they were in New York City on 9/21. You know, 2 weeks after the fact. It's a night and day difference. It would be a prevarication, a canard, a lie. Tim Walz is a liar. He's a liar about his service in the military. He never deployed, could have, chose retirement instead. He didn't retire at the rank that he claims to have. It's constantly one lie after another lie after another lie, and even lies about the laws in his own state, which he signed into law, which, yes, it really is law in Minnesota that a woman can have an abortion right up to the moment of birth. Though he said that J.D. Vance was lying about that. In fact, Either Tim Walz is a complete moron and doesn't know what he signed because he's never read it, or he just outright looked at you, the American people, and said, J.D. Vance is the liar, when it was in turn Tim Walz lying. That said, put that over here. Kamala Harris is saying, I won't stop fracking. I won't stop fracking, although she has been on record for years that she is anti-fracking, anti-gun. She wants to come into the homes of licensed gun owners. She wants to come into the homes of anyone that owns a firearm to make sure that you properly have it secured. Really. So we're just going to, violate the 5th and 14th Amendments and just come on in. She wants to make it legal to sue the manufacturer of those who manufacture weapons that get used in criminal activity. Wants to make it harder and harder and harder for you to be able to buy ammunition. But yet she'll tell you she's pro-gun. Understand, these lies that she tells are a way to try to sucker you in. And Bernie Sanders even said so. Kamala has got to say what she's got to say to get elected. She's pragmatic that way. So what you have is a woman who is so dangerously psychotic, she has no real core values. She's the chameleon who can blend to whatever's going on in the scenery in the moment. But the core values that she does have are just nothing but a radical left woke agenda. Now, of course, she's in trouble everywhere. The pollsters don't want to tell you that. The lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media doesn't want to tell you that. They keep gaslighting her. But she's in trouble everywhere, and she has to keep going back to Michigan. She got the endorsement of the UAW, the United Auto Workers Union, as far as an official endorsement from the union itself, but she doesn't have the support of the auto workers. They know who the true representative of the working man is in this fight, and it's Donald Trump, and it's J.D. Vance. So she was recently in Michigan at one of her rallies, and it was kind of funny because the teleprompter died on her. Now, here's the thing. She does these rallies where she claims thousands in attendance show up, okay, and she gives about a 20-minute speech. It's the same identical speech everywhere she goes. She's given it now hundreds of times. But yet, when the teleprompter had an issue, she had to just kind of smile, that goofy smile and that little Kamala laugh, cackle, and pause because they hadn't loaded up the rest of her speech. She said, 32 days. 32. Yep, in 32 days, we'll vote. Just 32. And just this long, awkward, even the people sitting behind her are like, can you say something else while they fix your teleprompter? Can't you just kind of go into your speech and give it? Trump does. But she said this about gas-powered vehicles.
And Michigan, let us be clear, contrary to what my opponent is suggesting, I will never tell you what kind of car you have to drive.
Does anybody actually believe that? That she's not coming for gas-powered vehicles? Again, she says that she's for fracking. No, she's not. She says that she's for your guns. No, she's not. What has she said in the past about gas-powered vehicles?
The pollution from vehicles powered by fossil fuels has long harmed the health of communities around our country. Communities overlooked and underserved. But there is a solution to this problem, and it is parked right behind me. Electric cars, trucks, and buses, they don't produce tailpipe emissions that irritate the nose and eyes, that decrease lung function, that increase susceptibility to respiratory illness. And so putting more electric vehicles on our roads will make communities like Miraloma healthier for our babies.
Bum, ba-dum, bum. Green New Deal, baby. Fossil fuel. It's killing the planet. It's killing your community. It's killing your unborn babies. Funny that she would worry about that now. For those of you that keep going back and forth, well, Trump or Kamala, Kamala said, just like Donald Trump, no tax on tips. You really think so? Because remember now, she's part of the Biden administration, and they hired, 28,000 additional IRS agents to go after people who didn't claim their tips on their income. Really think you're not going to get tax on tips from Kamala? I watched this one TV commercial where the guy's name is Buddy, and he said, "Hey, I can't vote for Trump because all he wants to do is give money to the 1%, and they don't do anything to benefit anyone." When he says that, there's a picture of Elon Musk in the room with Donald Trump. Elon Musk, who just trying to deliver absolutely free millions of dollars in satellite communication equipment into North Carolina so the people there would be able to have communication, and Pete Buttigieg and FEMA said, get out. Really? You've seen here on YouTube the testimony of helicopter pilots who own their own equipment and have flown into North Carolina to try to rescue people where they can't get to them. And they were told by police agencies on the ground under the direction of FEMA, if you keep rescuing people, we will arrest you. You're going to arrest people for rescuing other people. So then Buddy in the TV commercial goes on to say, Donald Trump's only going to give these tax cuts to the billionaires, and Kamala Harris will make sure that the billionaires pay their fair share. You hear that every 4 years out of the Democrat. Well, they're going to pay their fair share. They're going to pay their fair share. Well, Shazam, Batman. Biden Harris have been on the throne almost 4 years now. Why aren't the billionaires paying their fair share yet? So she's the typical politician when it comes to the typical lies, and sadly the typical voter falls for them. But you need to understand that her true core of the things that she actually does believe are so radical left, so dangerous, it will alter your life forever. As we continue to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene and the destruction it left in its wake, imagine now if Hurricane Kamala is allowed to make landfall.
I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election. Her views are not mine, but I do consider her progressive.